Some people in the newsroom have never seen our little graphic
I know,
there.
we just got a giggle.
Here with Diana Miller, senior producer at CBS This Morning.
Yeah.
A little bit of a hiatus
because someone was filling in on the show, on the real show, which was wonderful to have you there. Yeah, we didn't have to talk about what was coming up because you were getting all of our notes nonstop.
Exactly.
You already knew.
A lot of fun, So what's up for tomorrow?
Tomorrow we've got a really interesting piece, actually, and you know how we like to kind of give people access to something before anyone else gets to see it. And tomorrow's a good example of that because we're actually going inside JetBlue's first hotel. You don't normally think of hotels when you think about the airline JetBlue. But Chris Van Cleve has the story for us. And take a look at what he talked to one of their senior vice presidents about why they're getting into the hotel business.
What made you guys decide to do things differently?
It's likely not an investment that you may see some of the other airlines making. For us, and what's truly important to JetBlue about passion for customer service, it fit very nicely with our values and what we think is important.
Wow, looks snazzy. So anybody can stay there?
Not anybody, and that's the key. It's really just for employees, and so, but it's it's a sign of where they're going as a business. And tomorrow, when you see inside this hotel, you'll see why they made the decision to expand this and make it a real haven for people who are working for the company, and it's having an impact on the broader culture.
So is the plan eventually to roll it out to consumers?
I can't tell you that right now, but it is.
This is like 48 hours. We're like on 48 hours.
Right.
Z's always like,
you'll have to tune
watch.
in. Yes, exactly. But it is a first for an airline, so it's a pretty cool thing that we're getting a first look at.
All right, cool. And what else is on the cooker?
Have you ever heard of chores, Vlad? Did you have to do chores when you were younger?
We were just having this discussion about that with Meg Oliver, about how I had some serious chores growing up, and I didn't get paid for them. My mother was like, this is like what you're supposed to do. And so there's no money involved.
Then your mother was very ahead of the curve, because tomorrow we're talking to the author of an article about children and chores. It's been one of the most popular articles on the Wall Street Journal website since it went up. And it's really interesting to hear why 82% of adults said that they had chores when they were kids. Only 28% of them are actually having their kids do chores. And the article really argues that that's not a good thing, and that if we want our kids to grow up and be smart, engaged, well-rounded adults, they should be doing chores from a young age.
It's really interesting, too, because I actually credit a lot of like the things that have, some of the success that I've had in life with the fact that my mother was very much about chores and not getting paid for them, because the idea was that these are the things that you're supposed to do, and there's no reward for just getting up to the starting line. You know what I mean? Like, you always have to do above and beyond for there to be any kind of a bonus. So I don't know, did you have a lot of chores?
I had sort of an ongoing stream of things I was supposed to be doing. I hate to say this, but I think my mom falls under the category of, not being quite as, she just had a list of things that she knew she wanted me to do, but you're supposed to be as organized as possible with the kids and really lay things out and build it as, part of the structure of their everyday life. But yeah, I was cleaning up after myself all the time.
Well, so the one thing, though, that's kind of interesting, I wonder if the downside to this is that when you're involved in a relationship, if you're dating somebody who is not really, like, for example, a lot of my chores had to do with, like, cleaning up the house, cleaning up in the house, because we grew up in an apartment. If you're dating somebody who's not, like, that conducive to that, it can be annoying on both sides. On one hand, if somebody, like, leaves a dirty dish, you're like, hey.
That's,
what's up?
Yeah, this is our home.
And for the other person, it's like you're always cleaning up behind them, and they're like, dude, chill out.
Well, and that's a really good point that they make in the article, which is that it shouldn't just be that you're cleaning up after yourself. A chore is not make your bed. A chore is help contribute to the whole house, and that they're our chores. So yeah, if it's one's doing it and the other isn't, then I think there should be adult chores.
Exactly.
Right? I think we need a whole new
So do you have the author here of the piece?
We have the author of the piece coming on, and she's heard so much from readers on their own anecdotes about chores and whether or not they found them helpful or not. So it's going to be interesting to hear just the feedback she's gotten.
I really can't wait.
From that
sounds really cool. All right. Big day tomorrow. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you.
So this is
We'll
CBSN. I know, you'll miss me on sitting in Charlie's desk, Charlie's chair.
I like him too.
All right, we have more news for you in 90 seconds. This is CBSN, always on.